We are 3 days away from the UFC fight on the White House South Lawn, but the true scale and scope of the event is now just coming into focus. In a new court filing responding to a lawsuit that argues the event is unlawful, the Trump administration says that the event costs well over $60 million, and that tens of thousands of hours of labor have been expended. They also say that more than 7 federal agencies have allocated significant resources and manpower in preparation for this event. 4,000 people will be in attendance at the White House, while 120,000 will watch at the Ellipse. That's much more than the 20 to 25,000 that Trump initially said. And the UFC says that they're going to be footing the bill, which includes the new octagon cage, which is very visible in the back of the White House, and a substantial amount of perishable food and as many as 494 porta potties. But that still doesn't mean that there has been no taxpayer money spent on this and other logistics. This continues to be one of the more perplexing things happening at the White House. I do wonder, Scott, why? Why are we doing this?
494 porta potties.
That's a lot of porta potties.
Somewhere Graham Plattner's booking an airline
$60 million.
900 contractors.
I mean, look, here's what I think. This is a cool thing. I saw it today, by the way. I was out on the street. They were testing the sound. I mean, it looks pretty cool. It's part of the America 250 celebration. It's not uncommon for presidents to have interactions with the entertainment world. Happens all the time. Doing it on the South Lawn of the White House is a little unusual.
You can see it glowing there.
But that's okay.
It's actually even more obvious when the lights are fully on.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And the video boards are cool. But I think we need unusual things for America 250. This is a huge deal.
This is not a circus. We don't need unusual things.
America 250 is a big deal. We ought to be coming up with spectacles to celebrate the birthday of the country, and this is one of them, and I think it's awesome.
I don't really care. And I think most Americans don't really care. I think that most Americans, when they see it, probably think it's a little tacky. But at the end of the day, I mean, I went to a lot of parties in Barack Obama's administration in the East Wing. I mean, we had, jazz parties, and we had hip hop parties, and we had, poetry night, and we had all of these things at the White House. I've been to the Naval Observatory and had parties with Joe Biden. I mean, it happens. Donald Trump is an extremely tacky man, so this is something that goes with that. I mean, he likes gaudy. He likes lights and
for
gold.
his 80th, he wants that.
And so that's fine. It's his
80th.
prerogative, but I don't want us to chase every shiny object that Donald Trump puts out there.
I just have to play this. This is Marco Rubio talking about the UFC and comparing it to, I don't know, I guess the space launch or something. Listen.
When President Kennedy announced that we were going to put a man on the moon and return him safely to the earth, no one thought that was possible, and we did it. We are a nation founded on doing what no one else dared to do and no one else aspired to do. And at some level, that's what this whole company, what UFC has been. Today, you have one of the most recognizable American sports brands on the planet. And in and of itself, I think reflects so much the American spirit is reflected in this American company. Here's the second point. It truly is the United Nations of fighting. If you think about the number of countries that are represented, and I think that roster will continue to grow.
Hats off to his speechwriter for making those tie-ins. What do you think? What do you make of it?
I think men are having their moment. I mean, we have the basketball finals, we have FIFA's, and then now we have the UFC. It's an amazing moment in America, and I think men have really gotten the short shrift for quite a while in the United States. Well, women dominate in employment. Women dominate in college and universities, even in graduate programs. Men are having their moment.
Make more money than women to do the same job here in these United States of America in 2026. You're in the business world, you know that. So men are doing just fine in terms of dominating Fortune 500 company leadership, in terms of running pretty much every institution that we have in this want to.
I think it's time for men to have a turn.
They're all right.
Okay,
I totally agree with the ambassador. She's the ambassador to men now.
Okay, I just want to, point out that the Republican Party believes that men have been wronged in this country, and therefore it's time to celebrate them. which is something else. What I find interesting about this
How's
is
Democrats doing with men right now, Soj?
I will say that Democrats are doing better with women than Republicans are right now.
How y'all doing with men? You're the two hood ornaments of men are Plattner and Tallarico. How y'all doing with it?
You know what I'll say is that we're going to be doing just fine with men whenever we
Actually, I
win the
disagree
midterm
with
elections
that.
in November.
I disagree with
But
that.
at the end of the day,
I mean, they got Bakari too.
this
right?
is a birthday.
Off.
At the end of the day, this is a birthday party for Donald Trump. This hoopla,
And
everything.
America.
Well, it's the reason why we're really doing it is because it's his birthday, and the American people can't even watch this free. They have to, in order to, it's going to be streamed on Paramount. They have to have a Paramount subscription in order to watch the entire UFC fight and all of the celebration. And if we were really trying to just celebrate the 250th
When
anniversary,
is this happening?
Why wouldn't
Sunday.
Why wouldn't we just do it make it for free? Why wouldn't we just
Is
have
John
a free
Jones gonna be
event?
there?
The tickets are the tickets for the people watching in person will be free, but for the rest of the
Is John
country, if you wanna
Jones
watch-
participating? Do you know?
I don't know. I
He's the
couldn't tell
best
you.
UFC fighter in the world.
Tell you. All right, next for us.